Whenever I talk about the land of compute, we imagine it as a line going from CPU to GPU to FPGA to ASIC. If you want to talk about AI, it gets in a muddle in the middle somewhere. But one of the key things that I think people forget is that FPGAs exist. FPGAs have been the lifeblood of this industry for decades. They are the reconfigurable compute that makes it so other chips can be designed and can be built. They're also used a lot in systems where that reconfigurability enables new security to be added, new features to be added in the life cycle, and these parts typically exist in the environment for 10, 15 years plus, allowing that consistent upgrade cycle in the reconfigurable hardware to happen. Now, one of the biggest players in FPGAs since I've been covering this industry has been Altera. If you've been following this channel, you'll have seen me cover Altera when it was acquired back in 2015, 2016 by Intel for around $15 billion. We are now 10 years later, and Intel is divesting its ownership of Altera. A investment fund called Silver Lake are buying 51% of the company, and Intel will retain 49%. It's a position that allows Altera to be free, is perhaps the interesting way of putting it. It means that they control their own destiny. It means they can decide what markets to go after, and we can get a true refresh and invigoration of the product stack, of the customer stack, and what lies in store for the world of FPGAs. And goodness knows it needs updating for the new era, especially when we want to talk about AI. Joining me today is new CEO, Raghib Hussain. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Raghib and I know each other from Cavium days and Marvell days, back when ARM CPUs in the data center were the big thing. I mean, they still are, let's be honest. But Raghib, his viewpoint as a outside entrant to Altera, right?
Yep.
What does being outside and coming into a company with the history of Altera provide you?
Yeah, so as you correctly said, FPGA are like a foundational technology needed for the broadest application of our infrastructure. And of course, Altera has been for several decades around, and Altera has always been driving innovation and bringing the best technology. However, under Intel, the focus was in a certain segments for the right reason. Now, coming independent, I believe we can bring the original value of the Altera back in action. We can bring the focus back. This will be, the largest pure play independent FPGA company. And with that, we have a lot of freedom. First of all, coming from outside, I'm coming from the culture and what I have done throughout Cavium and Marvell. What I call the world revolves around customer, and I am bringing that culture back in Altera, and I am kind of implementing this concept of the focus on the solving the customer real problem, focus on the target markets. We want to focus on the broader FPGA market, which includes industrial and telecom, data center, audio, video, and the new evolving robotics and edge AI. So those are the broader market which match very well with the applications of the FPGA programmable devices. It gives us full control to focus on what do we want to do, how do we want to do, which foundries, which process node do we want to select, and how do we really take the full control of extreme ownership of our destiny in our control and deliver the best value for the customer.
So me sitting outside the company, right, I obviously have a viewpoint, and seeing the history over time, I get a specific viewpoint. How has your viewpoint changed from you being outside the company to you now being inside? You've been in the job, what, 3 months now?
4 months, about 4 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so of course, before coming in, we did a detail. I worked very closely with Silver Lake to do the full analysis of the situation and the opportunity and so on. But outside, you may not know many things, how things are. In fact, what I have learned in the last few months is actually even more encouraging than what I was coming in. And I'll give you a specific example. For example, I did not know how good or bad the basic core fundamental technology we have. For FPGA, just to give you an idea, the fabric is the key. I mean, how good of a fabric you have. For my pleasure, I mean, just to inform you, Altera still has the best highest performance fabric in the industry, based on independent benchmarks which are done, right? So that is excellent. But what also makes FPGA very critical, the other component is how good of a tools, EDA tools, and overall software that you have to enable that fabric to your customer. And throughout the several effort that Altera team had done in the last few years, there was an initiative to substantially increase the tools and the EDA. What I learned is this: our compiler performance actually in how latency time is better, is the leading in the industry, and also we have on average reach the on the KPI basis, our usability and ease of use very competitive in the best of the best in the industry. So those are the interesting findings I did not know coming in, and I also had concern about how good of a talent team do we have, because as you know, we have gone through like a part of a large company for the last 10 years, so things they disappear over time. But again, I was pleasantly surprised that we have a really high quality core team is still very well committed to this company and this product group, so this product family. So I'm really happy, and I believe now with what I felt like that they were constrained, because when you're part of a big umbrella, big corporate, there can be many changing priorities and so on. But with this freedom, with being independent, we will be able to put our complete focus and drive the best out of this IP, this product, and this talent.
It's funny you mentioned that consistency of the employees through the years, because I'm still working with people pre-acquisition as part of the company, right? So this news of Silver Lake coming in and taking this 51% ownership. Now, from the outside, I've been following Intel for years, right? And we understood they were making divestments. They had announced that they'd found somebody to go do this divestment, and then we find out it's one partner for 51%, which surprised us a little bit. And then as part of that, they brought you in. What does this is an open-ended question, but honestly, what does this? You went through some of the practical elements, but on a personal level, what does it mean to the company, this process?
Yeah, so I believe one of the reason I partnered with Silver Lake, and I like Silver Lake. Silver Lake has a proven track record of partnering with management team to create value in the long term. So there is a perception out there, hey, PE wanna just come and quickly milk the situation and make money and run away. If you look at the Silver Lake track record, they are not like that. Wherever they invested, they were invested for the long term. And for the company and even for the customers and the employees, I think the most important aspect, which actually made me really excited about this thing, having this opportunity to take it private and invest where investment is needed to fill the gaps and to really bring the solution to solve customer real problem. We will have full control and full freedom to do that, which in many ways, many times it becomes difficult if you are a part of the large public company or the public company itself, because you have to manage quarter over quarter expectation and so on. Here is as a strategic partner with Silver Lake, we can kind of think on what makes sense for the company and for the business for the long term health and growth, right? So it gives us this huge opportunity to invest in what is needed to be the leading provider of FPGA solutions for our customers.
The word I've been using externally in conversations is agility.
I would say agility, nimbleness,
Yeah.
the focus, right, and really nobody constraining you in any way, running with your fastest pace towards your common goal, towards your destinies.
Are you feeling that company wide?
So of course, it's the culture is start from the top. As I said, you have to model it, and it goes from there to the different levels of the company. Right from the first day, and you know the team. You can ask them also. I am setting up the culture of very transparent, very truthful, very open communication. In fact, even in my all hands, I do open mic, which was not the culture before I came here, right? And I am of the opinion that hey, we are one team. We should be honest, direct, and like more of a startup. I call it a very large startup, right? We need to be very well aligned. We need to be aligned on the goal, and we need to have extreme ownership. I give an example. There is no swimming lane here. We are all together in an ocean, and we have to all work together to bring the best to solve our customer problem and to create value for everybody. So I think that the team has responded really well for that, and I am already seeing the level of energy and sense of excitement which is going on in the company is growing every day at a very fast pace.
Can you give us like a breakdown of the size of the company now, and engineers versus support staff versus just sort of a viewpoint so people can right size where Altera fits?
Yeah, so I would say it's about close to 2,600
Okay.
employees. Is about 2,000 engineering, is a heavy engineering organization that we have. And then we do support very diversified set of customers in the markets. We have the full stack product portfolio, and it's not just the hardware. As we say, we have a very comprehensive solutions and the tools and the IPs that complements all those. And one of the initiatives that I'm driving, for the targeted market, I want to bring much more kind of close to shrink wrap type of a solution. So our engineering team is already aligning with that. So that is important. And then of course, as Intel announced, last year our revenue was around $1.5 billion. So of course this year is not announced, it's not public, but it's north of that. So it's a significant size company. That's why I'm saying it's a very large startup, right? But the culture and the mindset that I want to drive here of extreme ownership and really be living every day of hey, what did we improve today? How did we work together? How did we solve customer problem today? I want everybody to be excited about it and everybody bring their best to achieve this combined goal.
So probably a lot of you in the audience don't know Raghib and his history. So I kind of want to get you, if I can, to explain a little bit about your past and then what that enables you to bring to this role. Because you said startup, so let's start there.
That's a very good question. So yeah, so I have a background, of course, in IC engineering and complete system solution and all that. So I was co-founder of Cavium. My first interaction with you was during Cavium days. So this is where we develop what we call the data plane processor to solve the problems which we saw that growing data will cause to the industry, right? And in many ways, I find the parallelism between those product that we brought to the market and the solution that we had to provide and the FPGA market. So for example, that we had a diversified set of customer in many markets over there, ranging from embedded appliances, small home type of appliances, all the way to data center or wireless telco infrastructure. And we had to actually, because we were bringing this new type of product, which is again a multi-core processor with bunch of hardware, but you could do many things on that based on the software and the application stack.
So that was an ARM-based processor.
Initially it was MIPS based, and then later on we
Yep.
translated into ARM based. So that is a very similar, kind of type of solution that you have to provide for FPGA as well. And the way we made this successful is really getting close to the customer, understanding their problem, and mapping our solution to solve their problem. And I think this is one of the initiative I have done in the company ever since I came. I want to bring the customer engineering as close to as possible, because in my mind, a true company is either you are producing product or you are solving customer problem. So that's the culture I am bringing. That's why I said a startup.
So with Cavium, with the position that company was in, with the startup, you're a startup with single-digit, low double-digit customers, and you can closely align with those, right? And then eventually, obviously, you made more customers down the road. The way I see an FPGA company is that you have 10,000 customers, right? If I look at the other FPGA players in the space, how can you reconcile the ability to be close with 10,000 customers versus 10?
So one of the thing even in the processor was we had many customers who we did not even talk directly. So
Downstream.
So I created an ecosystem over there of the software and the solution and IP, the library stack and all that. So there are similarities in that which actually FPGA does by default. So the key is this: how do you make even the sales team and field team and the distribution field team really aware of the technical capabilities so that they can assist their end customer in an effective way? And then, of course, in today's world, there are other tools, and another initiative I started right away when I came here. How can we leverage AI to even improve that overall solution? So that's what we are focused on, and that's why there are a lot of excitement in the company. That how do we scale even faster? Because in my mind, this company is becoming independent at a very pivotal moment in the history, where these like a physical interface of the AI, which many people have different names, a human AI or edge AI or physical AI, whatever you call it. And that interface actually is evolving right now. There are lots of sensors who are needed to transfer the information from sensor to the whichever is the compute central engine is this, or there are a lot of different formats of data that needs to be transformed in the real time. And then there are security concerns. Those are the applications which are most, FPGAs are the best fit, because when the FPGA are very good when the actual application data thing is changing and the latency is important, or when the volume is not large enough to justify to do the ASIC. Because one other thing also happening, the development cost of ASIC is also rising with the latest nodes. So the thing is, if you want to get the best out of the best in all these edge AI application, especially the interface to the physical world, you need to have the application specific optimized solution. And this is where I'm already seeing customer, there's so much traction and so much potential of growth. And I believe we are very well suited for all those applications. So I'm driving all those initiatives in here.
So one common thread throughout all of that, I think, was education. Not only education of the sales funnel, but also education of the customer funnel. So what can you do differently now as an independent?
So one of the things is this, that when you're part of the large company, the overall sales team and support team is a part of the big umbrella. And it is really hard for them to go and do a focus product and focus market solution specific efforts.
Right.
Because when you, let's say if your total revenue is, let's say $100 billion, right, a large company, and this small thing has $2-3 billion, and no matter what you do, you cannot really make a huge dent on the large thing. And this is where for the rightful reason, management focus does not go on those things. The beauty of being independent is this is it. This is what our business is, and as a result of that, we can, with our focus, we can bring a lot of value, and we can actually come up with a very targeted, tailored solution and tailored training program that we can actually pass it on very effectively to the next layer and next layer, and all the way to the end customer. So we can actually be very well focused for the customer needs.
One bit of feedback I always gave to Intel back in the day was that you guys have this wide portfolio of products, especially with the Agile X series coming out and the 3, 5, 7, and 9. And it wasn't until I went into an Altera office in the UK, I saw, oh, there's a dev kit. You actually sell these things in boxes. Yeah. Explain to me how you're going to get things like, here are the products we sell, right? And here's how you can play with them, because
exactly. So the thing, I think, again, when you are focused on the larger, bigger market as a part of large company, it's of course for the rightful reason. Intel focus was more on data center and the telco and all that. When you are dealing with a customer who has their own 1,000 engineers doing things, you need different type of dev kits. But when you're dealing with a customer who has probably one FPGA engineer who is gonna use it and gonna deploy it, you need a different type of solution and training and a dev kit, right? So our goal is to identify key market application segment, which by the way is nothing new. Altera already has certain market focus dev kit solution. It's just that they were not being kind of positioned and given to the targeted customer before in an orderly manner. And we need to fine tune those, and we need to take it to those customers so that they have a very pleasant experience, ease of use experience, and can quickly convert their ideas into the actual product. Because in FPGA world, design win and the actual volume production has a long time in between, and whatever we can do to shorten that time is best for everybody. It's good for the customer; they have a early product to release, and then it's good for us for early the faster time to revenue.
So with this announcement with Silver Lake, and I know you've got the Innovators Day coming up at the end of the month. Can you explain to everybody kind of how you see the next sort of 3 to 6 months progressing for Altera?
Definitely. As I said, we are moving at a very fast pace in the last 3-4 months itself. But again, we were a bit constrained because we were not really independent company, but we'll have full freedom moving forward. So I see it in different areas of focus. So first, but it all revolves around the customer. So first is, how can we actually take the existing product, existing dev kit, make it more ease of use and optimize for our customer? How can we bring the better engineering support for our end customer so that they do not need to wait, and we are committed to supporting that? And then how can we kind of improve our overall supply chain and operation so that we can actually do a better the quality and delivery and overall improving that process. So those are the things we are moving forward in. And then in parallel, while all this is going on, how do I improve the existing toolkit and software to even improve ease of use for our customer? So that will also be very effective for the customer who are picking up our new designs. And then finally, how do I not only streamline our roadmap, but how do we execute it with a lot of kind of high quality, but at the same time schedule determinism? Because that is something, when you're part of a large organization, is you have a company have 100 products to do, you cannot lose track of things. Here, there's only one thing and one thing we are doing. We are doing these FPGAs and focus for our customer. So how do we choose the features and how do we, kind of productize this fast? That is important. In my, when I came here, the concept that, hey, we bring a product line every 4 or 5 years. And I'm saying the world has changed. I mean, I'm coming from that area where 12 to 15 months is the cycle time. I mean, you have to have product at that pace. And in fact, we bunch of old industry folks that who have also joined me since then. We are bringing all those knowledge base and culture how to get in there, and we have very good kind of traction internally as well. People are very keen to understand those processes. Many times, this is one another angle of a large company that too many communication gap and too many processes. Internally, I'm kind of collapsing on those and making very efficient, more of a think of it as a daily sprint type of a, process. I'll give you an example. So for example, I have, just like any other executive, we have weekly meeting, staff meeting. But I have this concept of daily morning sprint thing. I pretty much call most of my direct report and we quickly discuss top of the mind. And that actually, by the time we get to the weekly meeting, most of the things are already known and discussed. And this is more meeting as used more for collaboration and bringing focus together and so on. So many of those things I am encouraging to the team also to do that. It is the communication and execution with excellence and extreme ownership is going to be the part of our culture, and the customer focus to deliver value for them. And that's what we are going to drive in all cylinders to achieve that.
So if I can pull up one thing, one of the criticisms laid at Altera is the Agilex release cycle was very long and extended, and obviously you've gone and done your research coming in from the outside in this. So it warms my heart when you say we have to actually iterate every 15 to 18 months.
I would say 12 to 15 months.
Or even quicker. So apologies, our camera just died. We're going to the backup, but I did only have one question left for Raghib. Is this the old Altera reborn, or is this a new Altera?
So I would say it differently, right? I was not here what was old Altera, so I cannot comment about that. But at the same time, I know what is a good semiconductor company should be. What should be the company focus, and what should we drive our teams to deliver? And as I said, it all revolves around the customer. Our whole reason for existence is to solve customer problem, right? So everything that I'm doing internally here is to drive that. And engineers actually love to do that. They get excitement out of when their product gets out, when their product gets shipped in the real, products out there and solving customer problem. They get excitement out of it. I'm an engineer, and I believe most engineers are that way. What happens is when the companies don't do good is really the management who is indecisive, who have complicated process which takes months and months to make a simple decision. And that is what I'm saying it is, break all those rules. There is no rules, there should not be any rules which become the hindrance in our decision making, in our delivering the product, in improving quality and solving customer problem. So that is what I am driving in every angle, and that is why I'm very excited, and I'm sure we are going to do great.
It sounds to me, old Altera, new attitude.
You can say that. I would say differently. I would say a very strong IP, brand name, and
his PR trained, can you tell?
And solution, right? Bringing to our customer with a new focus, new excellence of the quality, and new extreme ownership mindset.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, good sir.
Thank you.
And if you're interested in hearing more about Altera, do check out our Altera Innovators Day live stream, where Raghib's going to be on stage presenting, and hopefully we'll get a few more insights into what exactly Altera is doing.
Ellie.